Solomon.
Okay, guys.
Bill was one of our charter members.
6
Originally.
o'clock. I want to start our meeting tonight, and our guest speaker tonight is Kathleen MacDonald. Welcome to the group. And I will ask, first of all, if anybody have a nice happy hour to say. Everybody have to tell a nice story for this week.
I'm sorry, it's been a bad week for me. My mother passed away, so we've
Oh, I'm
done nothing
sorry.
but funerals, so I
I'm
don't have any
sorry.
happy bucks this week, I'm afraid.
Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. I know exactly what it means. I had that
Sorry.
a month ago. Yeah. So, anybody else? It looks like we're going straight away to you, Kathleen. Welcome to the group.
All right. Well, hey, thank you. I'm really glad to be here. And I've watched a number of your meetings. This is the first time I've attended any live, so I'm looking forward to it. So I've got a little slide projection here. I'm going to go ahead and share. And let me know if you can see that.
Yep.
Morning,
All
Greg.
right. So, you know, my classification talk, all things Kathleen MacDonald. So, basic time frame, my early years. I was born in Baltimore, typical family, schooling, then pre-Rotary, focused on career, various employments, mechanical engineering. Then the current Rotarian life, I've retired from work, and now I ride the motorcycle with y'all, and I do other things. So let's get started. So way back when, in 1961, a little old girl named Kathleen was born. And so obviously this is a gag, and I'm sure it's a previous gag that you've all seen where I don't really have 129 slides. It's just me, and I'm open to an interactive type conversation. So as I mentioned, I'm mechanical engineering background. Late in life started my bucket list of motorcycle and other activities. I'm president of my local club. I'm glad I did it, and I will be even more glad when it's done. Here in Sunset Beach, North Carolina, it's just north of Myrtle Beach, at the intersection of North Carolina, South Carolina, and the ocean. A little slice of paradise. And I live here, obviously, with the one cat who visited. I've got another also, my husband, and my father has moved down here from Baltimore. My parents moved down. Be careful what you ask for, because you'll get it. I said move to either my brother or me, and hey, I'm it. So I just thought I'd open it up to some give and take questions. I am coming back in January. I'll talk in more detail about paragliding. But other than that, what can I answer you guys?
What is SBIR?
South Brunswick Island Rotary. So our county is Brunswick County, and so we handle 3 beaches: Sunset, Ocean Isle, and Holden Beach. Kind of a wide swath of the county.
How
I'd
long?
like to hear 5 or 15 minutes about the video dating service there.
Well, obviously, I'm dating myself. That was my husband had passed away, and after a number of years, decided to get back into the social world. My girlfriend twisted my arm and took me to a video dating club. So this was back in the late 80s, before the internet. So you walked in, you sat in front of a camera, they did a video recording, took your headshot, you wrote your bio, and they had a wall of binders. So you'd go in, you'd go look through the binders, you pick out a couple, look at the videos, and so you would, pass the note saying, I'm interested in meeting you. And so I did that a couple of times. I unfortunately did not give the guys a fair shake. I really wasn't ready. But it was an interesting way to meet people. And usually we would meet to someplace public first. And this one time we went to see Jesus Christ Superstar playing at a theater in Baltimore. So I got there early and I thought, I'm kind of hungry. So I went into the bar, sat at the bar and got myself something to eat while I'm waiting. And there was this obnoxious, rowdy family sitting at a table back behind us. And it was annoying, but yeah, okay. So I struck up a conversation with the couple next to me and we're talking. And then the family got up and left. And the gentleman of the couple was talking to the bartender and he said, it was the family of the cast. And he says, I didn't know that Jesus was so short. Ted Neely and his family was right behind us. And he was a short gentleman, but obviously an awesome, powerful voice up on stage. And so I actually then had a perspective adjustment. Oh, that's pretty cool that the cast brought their families with them as they were touring, rather than, leaving the work widows and widowers at home. So that's video dating.
What brought you to motorcycle riding?
I've always had an interest, and my brother was the much more adventuresome of the two. I was a goody two shoes growing up. In high school, he got a summer job and his sole goal was to buy a motorcycle, which he did. And I thought, wow, he got contacts, he got a motorcycle. This is pretty cool. And then when I turned 50, I said to my husband, I said, the local community college has got a motorcycle safety class.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take it with me? So as it turns out, it was his birthday weekend. It was rainy, cold November. I took the class. He took the class. He actually passed with a better score than me. Started looking for a motorcycle. Couldn't find one that suited me. And my number of years went by. my husband was working, he was bartending, and his boss rode a motorcycle, but he started playing golf. And so golf, of course, is a 23-hour activity. So he wasn't riding much, so he wanted to sell his motorcycle. He mentioned it to Bill, and Bill said, "Hey, my wife is looking," and the rest was kismet. That's the bike I have now. It's my first and only Suzuki Boulevard. It just fits me perfectly in the height, in the hand grip. Don't take care of it as well as everybody else, but hey, it's good. It feels good. I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to keep it for as long as it runs.
Nice.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's a good bike.
And do you riding like short distance, long distance? What is your what you doing normally with
Well,
bike?
mostly I ride short distances. I use it to commute to work in the prettier days. I used to change my clothing, put on jeans, and then change at work. Now I just put on a pair of shorts underneath my dress and go. And tuck my dress into my Carhartt Farmer John bib and go. This past fall was my first, well, and I wasn't learning well around here on my own. The gentleman I bought the motorcycle from, he recommended a group at the motorcycle shop down the road. So we go on a Saturday trip, a couple of hours, and learned a lot. On my very first trip, he missed a turn, and we had to do a U-turn on my very first trip. Intense learning. And then, of course, this past fall was my first mountain ride with the guys. And I really enjoyed it, learned a lot. So I'm definitely a newbie, and but I'm enjoying it. I really am.
Okay, it's interesting. North Carolina. We just came. My husband and I just came from New Bern, North Carolina. And
Nice.
yes, my brother-in-law and his family and my mother-in-law, the family, they moved to North Carolina 2 years ago. And the last time we was there, we was riding with the motorcycles, but it was so ugly on the way back, raining like hell. But like I mentioned before, we just bought a trailer. So the next time we want to go up, I will let you know, and maybe we can make a ride together.
I think that would be lovely. And
Yes.
of course, with anybody, come on, if you're in the area,
Yeah.
I'd like to ride with you. The group that I ride with on Saturday, they've made a ride. I'll have to get that route, and it goes across a little ferry, across a little river. So I think that would be pretty cool to do.
Is it like the bike? I don't know Suzuki very well, but is it like how you say it, like a Harley style, something like that?
Yes, it's a Harley wannabe. And like I said, very comfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you need it because of the height, right? You need it low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of a short person, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
this is Tom, and I might suggest both for insurance purposes as well as safety and comfort riding, do one or two of those safety rider courses, in particular an advanced riders course. They'll kind of take the fear out of those U-turns away and make you feel really comfortable doing them.
That's a real good idea. I took the actual community college course twice. Once I got the motorcycle, I said I need to refresh, and so I took it twice. But you're right, I'll have to look up where an advanced course is
Well,
nearby
and some
me.
of those, are approved by your insurance company and they'll give you a 10, 15% discount on your insurance. In addition to the advanced courses in particular, they'll do some things like kind of tell you how not to have to make a panic stop. And if you do, how to do it, how to make turns rather abruptly, but how to, prepare yourself for them, and watching out for the other people and things that can happen. That's priority one.
Mhm. Yeah, the traffic around us, with so many tourists, people visiting the area, they're driving and not paying attention. They're too busy either gawking or trying to find their place. So it is kind of a dangerous place for us to be riding, but and it's nice and flat, and the roads are pretty even, so it's a good experience over here.
Sounds like Houston. But I don't know, you know that, but next year is a convention, the international convention should be in Houston. So in Deb and my area. And after the convention, we will start for a 3-day ride to the hill country.
That sounds nice. Unfortunately, my calendar, I can't make the
Convention,
convention,
yeah,
but I did see that you guys were gonna get together and do a ride.
yes.
So, yep.
If you want the information for the hotel, when I have the group arrangement booked, I can send it over to you and you can come, later. So I can tell you from my own experience from North Carolina, you will need 2 days, I think, to get down.
Yeah.
3 days, if you not have a trailer.
Oh, and I borrowed my trailer. I had a hitch put on my truck. So
Mhm,
that was the first experience this fall also.
mhm.
So if I'm going that distance, I think I'm going to borrow the trailer again.
Yeah, because, okay, June, 1st of June, the hurricane season starts, but normally we have issue with that later, but it will be, if it's a normal June, it will be hot, so then it's better to go with the trailer so you can, especially when you go from A to B and not make a ride somewhere else, it's more comfortable over this long distance. Not like Jerry. Jerry likes to ride, Rory likes to ride long distance, but if you not have that big experience, it would be better to go with the trailer.
Yeah.
For sure. But you're more than welcome.
Thank you. So let's see, motorcycles. So when my brother comes in, to visit my father, I take my motorcycle on down to my dad's, and my brother and I, or I let him have it. He lives out in Boise, Idaho. Next spring, we're planning a trip out to Boise, and I'm planning on renting a bike up there and at least going up one ride with him in the Sawtooth Mountains.
Wow,
That should be very lovely.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I plan the same with my brother next year in September over here. So we'll go to the East Coast with the bike. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Let's see, mechanical engineering. I focused on heating and air conditioning. So I was technical support for sales. Very interesting job. Loved talking to the building facility managers and looking at the equipment. Wasn't particularly fond of supporting sales, but that was the job. And so I got to see some interesting equipment, chillers, boilers, and every once in a while in the movies, they'll have the bad guys chase the people down into the basement, and I'm looking and going, okay, there's a fire tube boiler and a heat exchanger, and Bill's just like, yeah, it's a dark pipey room, you know. Ugh. Let's see what else. So I mentioned my brother, my father. I live vicariously through my brother. He has 2 girls. He and Rosa have 19 and 13-year-old young ladies. And my sister-in-law is she was a tomboy. And my nieces, they are her mother's revenge. They are flaming princesses. And when I was over, they lived in Atlanta. I was visiting them for Christmas. And the younger niece, she was, kindergarten. And I was getting ready to go to a Christmas party. And I thought I looked pretty good. Out of the mouths of babes, she comes up and she says, "Well, don't you have a dress to wear?" So, you know, I felt this big, but she was a princess. So I don't know if she's ever going to get into motorcycling. My older niece, I don't think she ever will. But I started late in life, so maybe they will too. Let's see. Rotary. So I mentioned I'm president. Our club is about 60 people, but only about 35 show up regularly. The focus of our club is the youth and literacy. We work with our schools and of course scholarships and summer reading programs. And there's a church that it's not faith-based, it's faith located, meaning that they have the summer schools in churches because they've got the facilities, but it's non-denominational and we support them. There's studies that if the child is behind in reading skills by the 2nd grade, if you can intervene, then the child can recover and maintain. If they start slipping there, then it just gets exponentially compounded. So it's a rising students from 2nd grade to 3rd grade, children at risk with the lower reading performances. It's quite moving, talking with some of the children. I volunteer for breakfast. They come in and they're kind of ambivalent and they don't like reading. And then as they leave school, they graduate after 3 weeks. And, reading is a wonderful hobby that they've now taken appreciation for. So feel very good about that. Last Friday, I was involved with Peer Court, which is a middle school program. That's the district attorney started that to keep children out of the juvenile justice system. So everybody talks about how it is a great program for the first offender. Kids are in a fight. Normally, they would get remanded to the juvenile system, but if it's a first offense, they admit guilt. And the sole purpose of peer court is the extent of the sentencing, the consequences. There are mandated requirements and then a number of optional. What I like about the program is it really, I think, is more for the other children, the other students. They all play the roles of prosecutor, defense attorney, bailiff, clerk, jury. We rotate those job descriptions around with the children so they get to experience their the court system, develop leadership, public speaking, critical thinking, how to listen. And then we coach the adult coaches and supervises each of the groups of children. So I find that to be a very worthwhile program. So that's Rotary on engineering, a little bit about family. Talked about motorcycle riding. What else? What else can I tell you about?
What's your passion?
My passion is paragliding. I first and foremost classify myself as a paragliding pilot. I don't do much of it out here. It is definitely too flat. I learned in Atlanta, and it takes about 6 hours for me to drive over to the nearest flying site. And I'll be driving halfway through the trip. I'll get the phone call, the wind's changed direction, and I have to turn around and go back. So it's not, as my husband says, it's not logistically desirable. Out in Idaho, and I'm very grateful that my brother, his career took him out there. There is a flight park half an hour away from where he lives. And so I go out to fly and just happen to visit. So that's my passion. Motorcycle riding, you know, I really enjoy it. I really, really do. And like I said, I use it to commute. So I like that too. So in Rotary, I'm a hacker at golf. I play with a lot of ladies who we just get out and chit chat and get the fresh air. We pretend we're exercising, and that's about it. Engineering, not so much. Earlier in my life, that was a passion, but not so much anymore. I've let that go. I'm now where I want to pursue more relaxing activities.
Nice, thank you. Hey guys, do you have some questions to Kathleen? No, John, not.
Does your husband ride motorcycles?
No, his definition of adventure is a 12-ounce curl. So he does not ride. He took the lessons with me, but he knows too many people who've been injured. He wishes I wouldn't. He knows I will. And he says, just be safe.
But it's nice that he tolerates what you're doing, you know, and that's also a big pleasure.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Kathleen, thank you for telling us about yourself. You certainly were a welcome addition to the Ride in the Mountains. We were happy to meet you.
Oh, I was thrilled to meet everybody. You guys were so much fun. And I'm looking forward to the next.
We want to, we had during, it's because of COVID. Last year, there was not really something happened. This year, we had one ride together in August. I couldn't join that, but there was a lot of us was together, and it's nothing, honestly, nothing. The same like when you meet in person, and and you can spend time together, and it's we meet every week over the via Zoom meeting. And so when the pandemic came, it was nothing unusual for us, but it's really different when you can make things in person together. So it's a much more connection, from my opinion, so much more connection when you can do that. So it's sad that we are so spread it out, over the whole country. And and that is why I'm really excited about next year, the convention, if the most of them come together. So I made a group reservation for a hotel so we can stay together all, in a gated hotel as well. It's not one hotel from Rotary International. It's a it's not on the list. But I'm really looking forward to spend the time with the people, and have fun and make some rides together during the convention and after the convention. So that's really, I'm looking forward, and I'm very happy if this is happen, because right now we don't know what's going on with COVID. It's not not to the members from the United States, but I don't know how many people right now, the booking numbers from, all over the world is stocking because they don't know they can come over to the United States. It's really an issue right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we was expecting 40,000 members in Houston, and right now we have 15. Yeah, it's a huge number because of the situation, and the people don't like to book because, if you book a hotel and the convention is canceled, no problem. I talk with the hotel. If the convention is canceled, there's no fee to pay for the hotel anyway, because it's like a higher power. You cannot change that. So, but of course, if you make a longer trip, like over the Atlantic or whatever, the people are very, how you say it?
Nervous?
Yeah. So they waiting, until it's clear. But the president of Rotary International, the current one, said he want that Houston, because it looks like Houston will be the last convention where the local Rotary clubs are, working with them, with Rotary International. Rotary don't want that anymore. They want that they only make it, only Rotary International says what they do, what kind of events, that they have everything in their power to organize. So maybe it's the last convention the local Rotary clubs are participating on that. And everybody here is very excited about that. So yeah, it's a lot of work. They're working since 3 years on this project.
Wow.
Kathleen, you made me a little
Kathleen?
nervous when I saw you had 129 slides.
He just got that joke.
Kathleen, I enjoyed your analogy with the nieces and being princesses. We have a 6-year-old granddaughter that lives less than a mile from us. And every time she comes over, she has to immediately goes up to Gigi, make sure that she has on 2 bracelets, a necklace, and earrings. And if she doesn't, she goes down the hallway to the bedroom and gets whatever Gigi needs to be complete.
And so much of it is innate personality. I mean, these girls came out of the crib color coordinated. I need garanimals still to match my clothing. And so I kudos to them. They won't ever have to worry about wearing polka dots and plaid.
You got a problem with polka dot and plaid?
I don't, because I unfortunately have worn that. Let's see, looking at my list. I don't know how long you want me to keep on talking. Looking at my list. As I mentioned, I was a goody two shoes growing up. I didn't do much. And then when I turned 50, I figured, oh, what the hell? So I did my first bungee jump. Would you be interested in hearing about that? Good.
Sure.
You know,
Hey, I got a quick question for you before you switch topics, unless I missed it. What brought you to Sunset Beach? What caused you to move?
Oh, okay. Well, my husband is a golfer, and when we started, when we got together, he was doing the golf group vacations down in Myrtle Beach, and we would drive from Baltimore down to Myrtle Beach. And, as with anybody on vacation, it's, gee, wouldn't it be nice to retire here? And we were looking around, got sticker shock, and we're driving home. And so you're going from the urban of Myrtle Beach and then trees. Once you hit the North Carolina line, it was pine trees. And I turned to Bill and I said, well, if we're going to move down this way, maybe this is the place to move to that might be more affordable. And so I saw on an exit sign, Charlotte, North Carolina, called up a real estate agent, and I just went out of the phone book and said, I'm interested in a golf community down in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we kept on talking and ended up here in Sunset Beach, which is quite honestly a nice slice of heaven. I really, it was a good place. So we bought the land, planning on just 30 years from then retiring and moving down. My husband worked for Johns Hopkins Hospital. Great place if you're sick. Horrible place if you're an employee. He worked in the telephone communications department down in the basement. And so I said, well, you get a new wife or you get a new job?
Wow.
And my father said, well, you've got that property. Why don't you look down there? And so yeah, I got a transfer. And unfortunately, because it's all trees down here, there's no jobs. So Bill got to retire early. And then I followed him in retirement after working from the home office above the garage for a number of years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how long you live now on this place?
20 years.
Oh, okay.
And it seems like yesterday. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So my bungee jump experience. So again, I turned 50 and I started thinking, well, why not? And I had changed jobs. I was working with Honeywell at the time, and I was up in Baltimore, and they had a regional conference in York, Pennsylvania, which is just over the line in Pennsylvania. at a little Holiday Inn. You know, York is kind of Amish country, not very well. It's not a big city, so the meeting facilities were the local hotels. And they were also the night spots. So it was summertime and they had an outdoor bar by the pool, and they hired a concession, a crane, bungee jump concession. So that was their nightlife. So all week long, we're watching the crane out there. And I said, well, I'm going to do it. So on the last day, we all went out and we did it. A lot of money was made on me that day. I did not go out very well. I'd lean, and then I'd catch myself. And then finally, just as I said, well, give me a little gentle persuasion. And the gentleman went to push me, and he didn't even touch me. I just fell. So it was interesting. The cords on the bungee jumps, you know, they're thick, round cords, elastic, and you, as an engineer, I understand that. Sorry, this is my other little friend here. As an engineer, I understand the strength component that having multiple rubber bands. So it's a cord of, I'm going to say 1,000 smaller strands. And I understand the strength on that. But part of me is thinking, oh my gosh, that's like a rubber band around a newspaper. It's not, doesn't feel very good, but it was, and I would do it again. I really would.
Wow.
All right, come here.
Yeah, say hi.
There she is.
Here we go.
Did you have to jump off a bridge or a cliff, or what was it?
It was a crane, and
Sorry.
so
said
we
that.
were at the pool, and underneath the crane was a patch of astroturf carpet. That was the target. And so we got, they lowered the crane, you climbed in, and then the crane lifted up. It was quite intense, the feeling of the weight of the cable pulling on you as you were lifted up in the air, because it's hanging down below you. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's going to pull me out. But and then there was a little hatch in the platform of the crane where the manager opened up just to make sure we were over that little patch of astroturf. You know, like that's really going to stop anything, you know, if there were an accident. But I guess that was the square meter that he had insured.
So are you ready now to go up to the New River Gorge and do that one?
You know, I think I would. I think I would. I need to make, you know, find somebody, get a contact there, but yeah, I think I would. Do a rafting trip down the New River as well. That's and a motorcycle ride, a multifaceted trip. So what's going on with you guys? Do y'all have a good Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and getting ready for Christmas and New Year's?
Too fast, like always. You know, Christmas is coming fast always. You know, we had a great time in Thanksgiving in North Carolina. So that was a reason we visit my husband's family in North Carolina. So it was great.
New Bern is a
cold.
very,
A little bit cold, but it was perfect.
yeah, New Bern is a very pretty little town. A
And-
very colonial type.
Yes. Did you know that New Bern was in 1710 the first capital town from North Carolina?
Did not know that.
Mhm. Skydiving. But
We got to go see my daughter's newly remodeled kitchen, and big surprise to me, we're going to remodel our kitchen now.
that's a nice surprise.
Hey, you got to be
Hey, I got
careful.
another surprise for you. It won't stop at the kitchen.
You make a clean spot and then it just keeps growing.
That's right. That's right. Well, now this new paint makes the old paint look dingy in the family room, and you'll have to keep going. It won't stop.
Yeah, the bathrooms are next.
Yep, that's how it goes. It's creeper.
True. So first of all, thank you, Kathleen, for the 2 of 129. That's a good joke, by the way, you know, because everybody's expecting that was a good thing, you know. So, and it's, you know, it's always hard to speak over yourself. That is what I'm feeling, you know, when I have to tell something about myself. It's always hard to pick what is interesting, you know, and some things we make and we not even think about it. It's important, you know what I mean? So for others, so it's always hard. I have to make my classification talk as well, so it will be very interesting, so for sure. But thank you first of all to let us participating on, you know, who you are, what you did, and what is your passion. And we hope we can ride together soon enough. Not this year, but hopefully next year, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for that. So
Ron, I saw your suggestion about riding to Houston next year.
Yeah, I'll have to see how that works out. I just pulled that off the internet while I was in the call. Just Googled "get to Houston without freeways," and that's what popped up.
Yep.
So I think it's a kind of a start.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm just concerned about how much time off I'll need.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with doing surface roads like that. I mean, even just riding there. I mean, you probably ride further than we do in a day if you choose, but we, you know, we are kind of limited.
how many miles you measured out, Ron?
Well, I didn't really measure that. I just did a total distance. You mean a total or the amount per
Yes,
day?
total, the total.
Oh, I think it was 1,600 something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So 3 days minimum, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll do more than that. There's no way we're going to do that in 3 days.
Okay.
I mean, if, depending on what other people want to do, but we'll either start with them or end with them if they're going to do it much faster than that. But we're not going to do the whole thing.
I've done that.
Now we're up for about up to 350 a day, and you know, on the freeways you can crank pretty good, but on surface streets, particularly if you're going through towns and you know want to stop and sightsee a little bit or whatever, you know, 3 to, you know, even you know, the high 200s up to 350 is probably our preference.
Okay. Yeah.
Fortunately, I have the time, so I can spend as much time as I wish.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the other people that will hopefully be going.
Yeah, I think we had 1900 2 years ago when we was going to North Carolina with the bikes. 1900 over back roads from Houston to New Bern.
It's about 1350 from where I'm at in South Carolina, so I'm gonna take about 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we did the North Carolina, we did about 7,000 total.
Yeah. So, but I'm really excited if you guys, we can come all together, you know, so really about that. I'm really excited about that.
You know,
And
okay,
I
since
can
we're
show you something from Texas for sure.
since we're talking about that, I have just started to sign up because I really wasn't even planning on going until we were talking the other evening. But some of the events have pickups at the at the hotel, but it needs to be a hotel that's one of the convention hotels. Have you? Is there any? Do you have any thought as to the best way to do that? Just to
Yes,
try
I
to
have.
just
Because
okay.
this is not the first question, it comes from that. When you look for the choices, it says your hotel, and of course the Wingate is not listed on the list from the hotels. Right. And then it says very on the end, none, and you have to pick that on non-hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was says. And what I write now, because from the district, we had a speech, not last week, the week before for the district. They invited my husband to tell something about the host events. And then they asked about, how the transportation from our hotel is to the convention center. So first of all, if you want to ride, you can ride, because there are 50 parking spots for motorcycles reserved in the convention center. First of all, if this is what we make, that the people are safe. So if you don't want to do that, there is a train that goes direct to the convention center. It took, of course, a little bit longer, but with the public transportation system. Right now, I don't know that Rotary International pay that. It was like that in Hamburg. But Rotary International didn't want to do it in Houston, and right now I don't know what is the actual status of that, but it's not that much money. So, and then the bus station is direct over on the other side of the street from the hotel. So, and we will make you a plan. I have to go over. I had no time to do that since I'm back from Germany, but we will give you a plan how you can do that. And for when you want to go to the restaurants in the evening, I put the shuttle service included in our contract, So and normally the shuttle services goes only 3 miles around, from the area, from the hotel to bring you somewhere. But when we want to go with more people in another restaurant, I deal with them that they make it in 5-6 miles. Distance from the hotel, so we have that, but they will not bring us to the convention center. Yeah. But we can go with bikes anyway, because I don't think that so many people are going with the motorcycles to the convention center. But you can, because there's a parking spot only for motorcycles, 50 motorcycles.
Yeah, I looked at the public transportation, and that looks doable. I mean, you could Uber too if you wanted.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
it's only is it, 5 miles or 7 miles or something like that. Yeah,
not much. It's and honestly, I was not the last weekend, the weekend before, there was a guy from a Rotary district from Germany there, and he wanted to see the locations. And I was going with a bike over there to make some promotion, for the IFMI and for our club and things like that. And there was no traffic at all for motorcycles, because, they all have to go somewhere. But the motorcycle is pretty easy to go over there. It was not that much traffic, but it was a small convention right now hosted, but not that much. So I think it will not give any big problems.
Mhm.
But what I'm working right now is to give you later a plan where you can make a choice. You say, oh, we're going with the bus, and we have to go like from the bus to the train station and things like that. So you have exactly a plan how you have to do it, what it costs, and how you book that. So, but I have it not ready yet. So I apologize for that. I have to still catch up some things I couldn't do because I was traveling so much in the last 2 months.
That's a long ways off,
Yes,
but it will go fast.
yes, for sure. And I'm still working on the reservation for the hill country, afterwards. So the tours is not the thing, but to, have a bigger contingent on bedrooms that I can make a reservation. This is why I'm working right now on it. And then when I have that, we make the details from the tours.
Yeah, I still haven't booked. It's on my to-do list, but just, man, professionally this year has been just crazy. So from the 17th through the end of the year, I've got time off, and hopefully we'll attend to it then, look at the sessions and everything, because I've never been to an international before.
I hope, that right now there are some countries that they cannot travel to the United States.
Yeah.
So we will see what the next month are bringing. I think there will be a decision in January, and I hope, they open it up a little bit. Aurora have some problems with heavy wind and the internet.
Yeah. And I see somebody just started my 5 o'clock meeting, so I'm going to jump off and host the meeting I'm supposed to be hosting.
Hi, Scott. And
Good to see you all you again. Yeah.
Thanks for.
Yeah. I think sorry I missed the intro there.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye. So Kathleen, would you like to join us or lead us? I'm sorry, not only join, lead us in the 4-way test?
Absolutely.
That would be nice.
All right. Of the things we think, say, and do, first, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Rotary.
Have fun. Thank you, Kathleen, for joining us, and I hope we can see you more than this one time participating in the meetings, and
Yes.
And join us a little bit in the things what's happened in the district. We have some awesome speakers. Last week, the speaker, she really touched me because it was about, human trafficking and things like that. So it was very interesting theme, and, how people dealing with that. That was really amazing, and I think there will come more up some interesting speakers for us all, So thank you guys for the meeting tonight. I wish you a nice week. And of course, there was somebody asking me tonight, we will have a meeting next week for everybody who want to join us for sure. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye. So, and it's only you and me.
It looks like it's just the two of us.
Yes. Did Amanda contact you?
No.
Okay. She sent me an email last week, and she said she want to step back a little bit. She wait a minute, I'm looking for the email, and then I can tell you. She sent it to me and David. And the first what popped up on me was, you are the membership chair, or you guys are membership.
Right, we're co-chairs.
And she want to step back for the holidays until the end of the year. And she said she have to make a decision between family, job, and Rotary. And so right now it's like looking like it's too much for her. And I can totally understand that it's, sometimes overwhelming. But I wanted to tell you, because there was some things popping up, and if you like, but I think right now you are not that feeling well. So I would put all the questions a little bit in the back because nothing has happened now between the holidays, you know?
Well, I think we're caught up to date on the new members.
Yeah.
I haven't communicated with Amanda.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we've done everything we needed to do
Yes.
with the 2 new members, and we haven't had any new applications.
But
since
what has
those-
happened with the last one? Because we wasn't sure who is the last one. You know, what was the name from the last one? But not the one he showed up in the meeting, the one
No,
he showed not up in the
I'll
meeting.
have to go back and look, but there was somebody else. There were
Yeah.
2 of them, and I thought we had. I know that the first one, the one that showed up at the meeting, and I just can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, me
That
neither.
letter went out, and he was invited to join.
Yes,
Second one, I think we were still looking at getting some information on,
the
but I
second
don't
one.
know. Amanda said she was going to take care of that, and I don't know where we are with that one.
Yeah, I think she have nothing done. I think this is why
Okay.
it's over her head right now. This is how I call it. And this is why she is right now overwhelmed and she had to make a decision to step back. So I would check the emails as well, because I know there was one guy, he made an application and nobody knows him. And we
Okay.
talked about that in the board meeting together. And we was like, okay, we need to know something, you know.
Let me go back and look at my files and see what I've got on it, and I'll get in contact with you.
Exactly. And then,
we'll
then maybe I can contact him, you know, because I don't want that, because you are also handicapped right now with your back, you know.
But I don't want to let something like that slide. We need to.
No,
We
but
need
this
to
is
make
why you
sure
can
that
send
we're in
it.
touch with them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we can. So if you have something, I have to getting active. Let me know, you know, and then I can contact him in you know, not as Amanda,
Okay.
but as a president of the club, and can ask him some questions, and then
Okay.
maybe we get it done together, you know, without her. And if I have some questions, I can reach out to you. I think this is a better way,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Okay, I didn't
And
want
I'll
to
go back and look at my stuff, and then I'll reach out to you with what I've got.
Yeah, you can call me. You have my phone number.
Okay.
So whenever you want to call me or want to make a video call, that's fine for me, you know. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so whenever I can do something for you, only let me know. I didn't want to make it in the big round, you know, to tell in the big round, because she told it only to me. I was scared at the first moment that I thought, oh, maybe, you know, after Linda, she's stepping back, what we're doing then. But it's only, she said, until the end of the year. So
Okay.
I said we will give her some rest.
Well, and when you think about it, the end of the year is just a few weeks away.
Exactly. So maybe
but we shouldn't let it die. We should proceed. And I'll go look, and if you'll go look, and let's go with that, and we'll move forward.
And you can, whenever you need something, you can, you know, get in touch with me.
I'll give you a holler. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, Keith. And I wish you
Lindsay.
the best. You know,
thank you. I sure hope so.
And that they can find a solution for you. It's so heartbreaking, you know, and especially when you get older. I was, you know, the last, nobody knows it in the club, but I was in the emergency room, not the last weekend, the weekend before. But I think it was too much, you know. My mom passed away. My brother got diagnosed with cancer, you know, and he's still.
It can pile up.
It was too much, I think. And then I was traveling a lot, you know. I came back from Maui, and then 3 days later we was heading out for North Carolina, you know. So, and then my heart was starting beating up, and I had to go in the emergency room, and I had a stress test this morning, and I still had a high blood pressure, but it have also to do, and this is the tricky thing with the menopause with the women.
Oh, yes.
So, and this is why they cannot really catch it right now. So I also have to wait until the 29th of December that the doctor, you know, will tell me. I had a echo this morning as well, you know, so they're trying to find the reason for that. And I feel like I'm totally okay, you know, so I don't.
Well, we'll keep our prayers going for it to be good results.
Yes. Yes, so that's why I totally can understand how you're feeling, you know,
Well, I'm
but
glad you did. I will go back through my stuff and I'll look at it and
Yeah.
see if I can find the name. And then I'll get in contact with you. And if we need to, we'll contact him. Make
exactly,
sure we're moving forward on it.
exactly, that the guy not have the feeling, oh, nothing has happened, what kind of, you know, club is that? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. Yeah, I know.
All right.
That's fine. Okay, Keith,
All right. Thank you.
enjoy your week. See you next week.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. Mhm.